So I want to know a little bit about your parents. You were raised with both parents.
I was raised with both parents until I was like 12.
And what happened?
They fucking hated each other.
Your parents did?
They hated each other.
And how do you know that?
One time my father said something really horrible and said, he basically told my mom that she's ugly as fuck and she needs to stop skin bleaching because her face is messed up. And one time when it was time to pay rent, I remember one time when I was like 8, he crumbled up the money because I think he has like a drinking problem, like a gambling problem. So I remember him crumbling up money and throwing it in her face because she kept asking for the rent money, but he wouldn't give it to her. So they didn't really like each other and they actually stayed together just for the kids.
Oh, good. What?
Oh my God.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 2 siblings. One of them I don't know. One I grew up with and I'm close with, and another one I don't claim.
Are you the oldest?
No, I'm the youngest. I'm the baby.
Oh, and so you saw your parents go through all this.
Yes.
And what was that like for you observing them going through that?
It was very toxic. That's actually a big reason why I meditate and have anxiety, because I hate confrontation.
Yeah.
Because of that.
I understand.
But I have to be able to deal with confrontation
Yeah.
because since I'm so nice and my voice isn't very intimidating, people walk all over me.
Yeah.
So I gotta like check bitches, like who the fuck you think you talking to type shit. So it's just like, I hate confrontation because of what they went through and how they argued so much.
Yeah, I understand that. And so your father left your mother at some point?
Yeah. No. He
Literally,
left us, let's put it that way.
He left.
He left us, he left the entire family. He just couldn't take it anymore.
But I thought he could get along with your mother, but he loved you guys. He just couldn't handle the mother.
To be honest, I feel like he loved us, but he wasn't very nice to me and my brother. I have very horrible, traumatizing memories of him being very mean to us. Having like, I remember being like 10, 11 years old, watching him like literally like watching the game and then literally like passing out on the couch or like randomly like, he wouldn't even turn on the TV. He would pretend the TV's on and he would just literally like just drink whiskey until he fucking like fell asleep and passed out.
But do you blame him? You were living with your mother.
Yeah, my mother was pretty fucking psychotic. I wouldn't want to live with her either.
Really? In what way was she psychotic?
She was very controlling. She was very passive aggressive. I feel like she was very like schizo, bipolar. She had very like horrible like mood swings. Like one day she'd come home screaming and crying for like little reason. Like if you left the shower curtain open, she'd be like, I thought I fucking told you to leave the shower curtain closed. And I'm just like, why are you yelling? The next minute she'd be crying and I'm just like, what the hell is wrong with this lady? Me and my siblings would be like, is this fucking real? And then it's just like, she was crazy. Like she had severe issues that she never diagnosed and tamed.
And when you would tell your father to help you with that, what would he say?
To be honest with you, my father was no help at all. He was a worthless drunk that just sat on the couch all the time.
And what was wrong with him?
He was really mean to us. He wasn't very nice. Like, let's put it this way. He had a habit of ignoring things.
Why
like
would Go ahead.
Like I'd be like, oh look, I got an A on this. And he'd be like, yeah. Like he just like would ignore us. He didn't pay us any attention. It was almost as if we were living with a roommate.
Wow, how did that make you feel?
That made me feel pretty annoyed, but it also was, I guess it was, it taught me a lot because it taught me how to tolerate and accept people for who they are. Because then I understood, I mean, hey, if that's who you are, then it is what it is, it's whatever. But then that came with disadvantages because I have a bad habit of letting bad behavior slide.
Yeah. And so when he left, I mean, who were you closest to before he left? In spite of what they were doing, were you closer to your father or your mother? Or neither?
Neither. I genuinely, I can wholeheartedly say I don't like either of my parents to this day.
To this day, you don't like
To this day, I don't like either of my parents.
Do you ever see them?
No, I haven't seen my father in a year and a half, and I haven't seen my mother in a year. I cut her off out of my life.
Because of the way she is?
Yeah, she has mental health issues. She just doesn't want to get help. She doesn't think clearly. She's very narcissistic as well. If I were to bring this up, she'd be like, but you this, you that. Like, she projects issues. So I'm like, I don't want to deal with that shit.
Are both your parents black?
Yes.
Really? And so you have an older brother?
I have an older brother that's 11 months older than me, and I have an older brother that's 38.
And they have the same parents?
No, my mother has 4 different baby daddies.
Really? Oh, no wonder.
Yeah. So basically, wait, matter of fact, let's see. No, she has 3 different baby fathers and she has 4 kids.
Wow. So how are the other kids doing?
You know what? My brother, who had the same father as me, we're pretty decent because we grew up the same way. So
Right.
like we grew up learning the same lessons.
Yeah.
My sister, on the other hand, is a fucking train wreck, and my older brother, I have no idea what he's doing with his life. I just know that he's married and he lives in a whole different country.
Oh. And your sister is a train wreck in what way?
Where do I fucking begin? You got time? My sister is she's a huge product of my mother. She projects, very narcissistic, very passive aggressive. She's also she wasted the majority of her life just chasing dudes. She was a stripper. She was all types of things.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
she used to do drugs, mollies and stuff. I don't know what it is, but my sister moved out of the house when she was 18. So like years ago, like this was like 2007, she moved out of the house when she turned 18. She left, and then I saw her and then she moved back in like 5 years later, and she just wasn't the same person.
Yeah.
And then I found out that she was doing mollies, and she was a stripper, and that she was prostituting and selling her poom poom and all types of shit. Like, she just wasn't the same person that moved out at 18, and then she even like dropped out of high school like right after she moved out.
Amazing. And so have you ever done drugs?
I did drugs one time actually, but it wasn't like something serious. It wasn't like no crystal meth shit or like
What'd you
no
do?
crack. I did Adderall, which is like a study drug. You familiar with it?
Yeah.
So that's what it was like, to focus, because I was like trying to study for a
Yeah.
test.
Are you, you smoke pot?
No, I don't. It makes me lazy as shit, so I stay away from that kind of stuff.
And so your brother, you and your brother see each other now?
We do.
Yeah, good. And you living out on your own?
Yeah, pretty much.
Good, man. And how you like that?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like I have to reprogram myself to like literally feel comfortable. Like sometimes sometimes I have like random anxiety attacks when I hear a car door slam outside my house. And I'm like, what is that? But then that like actually is like a huge reminder of like my parents coming home and me like resenting them coming
Yeah.
home from work.
I can imagine.
So I have to like reprogram myself, and I've been on my own since I've been on my own since the week I graduated high school.
That's amazing.
So I literally moved out 4 days before graduation.
And your brother's out on his own too?
Yeah.
The one that's close to you?
Oh yeah.
And he's doing good?
Yeah, he's doing fine. He works and like has like a whole girlfriend and everything. Like he has his own shit.
He has a whole girlfriend?
Yeah, he has like his whole thing going on.
Oh, I see.
Like,
And
he's
so
living his
have you
life.
ever thought about forgiving your parents?
I'm not ready to
Why
until
not?
they actually do some self-reflection and they actually take responsibility for their own actions. Because I can forgive you and be like, oh yeah, I forgive you. But then if you're doing the same shit, it's just like, I mean, what's the point of forgiving you if you're gonna turn around and do the same shit and lie and steal and do all types of shit?
So that you can overcome your panic attacks.
I think I'd
Because
rather
if
just
you-
go to therapy and do meditations and breathing exercises.
But if you forgive your mother, you will overcome her because you become like what you hate. So you have your mother's identity. So if you forgive her, God will forgive you and take her identity away from you, and the panic attacks will stop. Because your mother can't help herself. You know how you can't help yourself?
Yeah.
She can't help herself. So you know how she feels. That doesn't mean you got to hang out with her or give her your money. But if you want to overcome the panic attack, you need to forgive her. I'm sorry for resenting you. I realize now you couldn't help yourself. I became like you. I have panic attacks. I'm a little bitch, and I don't want to be that way. And you don't want to be that way, right? You don't want to be a little bitch, right?
I definitely don't.
So you want to overcome being a bitch?
Yeah.
So you need to forgive your mother then. And God will forgive you and give you back common sense, and your life will be amazing.
Okay, I'll consider it, but
And
like,
your father too. They couldn't help
oh,
themselves.
my father. Oh, you crossing the line there. I don't know about that.
But they both could not help themselves. And as long as you resent them, you're going to be in the same mode.
But isn't that like making excuses for like 2 grown-ass people in their 60s?
No, that's on
Like,
them. Their problem will still be on them, but you'll be free. And that way you don't pass it on to your family if you start one.
See, I had that mentality at first, but then I had to understand that like, you can't like, I can't sit up here and force myself to forgive someone who's not gonna take accountability for their actions only
But
because.
that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is you, and you'll becoming like them because you do resent them, because anger is judgment. And when you judge, you'll be judged. So if you forgive them, they can stay the way they are. They don't have to apologize or anything. At least you will have an amazing life. God will take that away from you.
Okay. And then just keep my distance
Yeah,
away from
you don't
them.
have to hang out with them. You don't have to talk to them or anything. But you will be free.
Okay.
And they don't have to apologize or anything. You forgive them. Don't ask for forgiveness. God will forgive you.
Even though she tried to steal my taxes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you'll be able to stay away from her. That makes sense?
Yeah, it's just gonna take some time. Like I just need to self-reflect, breathe, and just take it all in for a little bit.
Don't wait too long.
Yeah, because they're pretty fucking old, so. they're
Yeah,
not
so
gonna be
you
around
can't
forever.
wait too long.
Yeah, I gotta remember they also grew up in a different generation. They grew up in like the fucking 60s, 50s, so they have like a whole different experience in the world where parents don't give their kids affection or respect.
Yeah. So forgive them so you can have a better chance.
Okay.
All right, let me know how it goes.
Okay.